my experience about visiting a animal shelter and how patterns, programs operate within me. Last week I visited an animal shelter where mostly live cats and dogs, and it was my first time. I wanted to see how the animals live in there, and therefore I visit this. I walked in, and then the first area there was the cat place. The cat place chilled and lied around, and it looks like they had no stress. And then I walked into the dog area. Each dog had a had their own cage where they lived within, and the cage looks like the ground was with blades, and they had a little dog house inside. The cage maybe was uh, 3 meters each side, and when I walked into this cage place, into the dog area, the dogs started do barking. Not all, but the most dogs. And the most dogs are very hysterical in the barking, and I walked through. There was ways, and on the left and the right side was the cage from the dogs. There was many ways like this, and I walked through and I looked to the dogs. Some dogs get quiet when I walked through. Some dogs was happy that they see me, and they look to me like, come on, let us go around. And for me, I had in the beginning no thoughts about this. I saw, okay, this isn't really humanity, how they live. But I know in this point, or I knew in this point, I can nothing do. Maybe I can make a own animal shelter where I can create for the dogs a place where they can live in dignity, a bigger place with, yeah, I don't know. But I have not the money for this, that I can create this. So therefore, okay, this is not the home for the dogs. And I walked through and I looked to the dogs, how they was. And in a while, I started crying. And I say I had not really thought about this situation, but I observed the crying that was an old pattern within me. The old pattern comes up like a program, like a computer program. It comes up and direct me and say to me what I have to do. This pattern comes from the mind consciousness system. So in this moment, I wasn't the self-directive principle. I was guided, controlled, manipulated, and enslaved through the mind consciousness system, through this program within me. And I had no other chance to do. I breathed through and I forgive also myself for what I have accepted and allowed within me, these patterns, because there is no reason to cry about this situation. Of course, it's unacceptable, and we have a lot of other possibilities to handle this situation or this kind, but the crying is a pattern, it's a program. And this is one program what the human beings have inside. We have many of this. And this is the process what we have to go to correct ourselves, that how can I say? The process is that we walk our way, and where we observe that there are some emotional reaction about some situations, we have to realize that it's just patterns. Patterns what we have accepted and allowed within ourselves. And within these patterns, we are controlled, manipulated, and enslaved. And those we have to correct. Because with these programs and patterns, we are not alive. We are just an organic robot. And this is what we have to do. For this we are here. To walk in self-responsibility and self-honesty, our process. Because within these programs what we have accepted and allowed within ourselves and those within this world, because the mind consciousness system is interacting on the whole world. And the longer we have these programs and patterns in us and allow it in us, we are not really a living being. But look by yourself. A practical solution how we can go through these patterns and correct them is I told to take self-responsibility for life, to be self-honest. When the programs comes up with the realization that the programs are not life, and the practical solution is to breathe through these programs, these patterns, and applying self-forgiveness and those is the correction. It's easy. But we have, or we need, self, or rather life awareness about this, that we see in each and every single point where programs interact. We are equal as one. Here is life. But every emotional reaction are not equal, because we have emotional reaction because we judge, or we have judgings inside. So therefore enjoy your process and be aware of your balance and correct you. Thanks.